I am fundamentally a selfish person.
We are, like America is, we're mixed. We're a mixed bunch. And sometimes it may seem like...
You've heard the headlines, you've seen the tweets. Whoopi Goldberg vanished from her usual spotlight, and Elon Musk looms in the background with a rumored $80 million lawsuit. But here's the thing. What if I told you that the story everyone's been parroting is just the surface? What if the real drama is something far more intricate and deeply connected to hidden tensions no one else has dared to explore? Let's start with what everyone thinks they know. Yes, Goldberg made bold claims on her show, allegations about Elon Musk controlling political figures and running a shadow network of influence. Sure, she demanded he step down as the owner of Twitter, but here's the twist. This wasn't just about Musk. It was about something bigger, something Goldberg's critics and defenders alike are missing. Her statements didn't come out of nowhere. For months, insiders say Goldberg was walking a fine line between controversy and outright provocation. She had a reputation for addressing hot-button issues, but this time, it was different. Whispers from behind the scenes suggest that tension had been brewing long before the fateful broadcast. Producers reportedly struggled to manage Goldberg's increasing desire to tackle subjects that daytime television typically avoids. Rumors of heated production meetings have surfaced, with some claiming that Goldberg was determined to push back against what she saw as the growing influence of billionaires in politics and media.
I'm into my life, you know, so hit and runs are great. I don't mind those, but you can't spend the night.
These weren't just casual observations, they were part of a narrative she was deliberately crafting, a narrative that called out figures of immense power by name. Why would she take such a risk? According to those close to her, it wasn't about ratings or shock value, it was deeply personal. Some say Goldberg had grown disillusioned with the constraints of mainstream media, frustrated by what she perceived as corporate censorship and the silencing of dissenting voices. Her remarks about Musk weren't just off-the-cuff comments. They were part of a larger, deliberate effort to confront the status quo. This raises a critical question. Was Goldberg's on-air tirade a spontaneous decision, or had she been preparing for this moment for weeks, or even months? Some insiders suggest she was well aware of the firestorm her words would ignite. There are even unverified claims that she warned her producers beforehand, saying something along the lines of, "If we're not willing to talk about these things, who will?" But the boldness of her accusations also invites skepticism. Critics have pointed out that her claims lacked hard evidence, making her comments seem reckless at best and intentionally inflammatory at worst. Supporters argue, however, that her conviction in addressing Musk wasn't about providing a dossier of proof. It was about starting a conversation that few others in her position would dare to initiate. And then there's the timing. Musk was already a lightning rod for controversy thanks to his outspoken views on Twitter's content policies and his high-profile takeover of the platform.
I know you don't know much about the Hollywood history, so let me school you. There's more Democrats, and sometimes it seems like there's more Republicans. But the truth of the matter is, very few people seem to bite it because they're Republican. John Voight, who is working.
Dennis
Quaid, who is working. People are working. Stop that. It's more BS.
By taking aim at him, Goldberg wasn't just targeting an individual. She was challenging an entire system of power that she believed was operating unchecked. Her actions, however, didn't just spark debate, they set off a chain reaction. Within hours of her statements, social media exploded. Fans praised her courage while detractors accused her of spreading baseless conspiracy theories. What's clear is that Goldberg's disappearance didn't happen in isolation. It was the culmination of months of behind-the-scenes drama, growing tensions with her network, and a bold gamble that seems to have backfired in the most public way possible. But there's more to this story than just the headlines. Goldberg's disappearance wasn't just about escaping the fallout. It was a move that has left even her closest allies questioning what her endgame might be. And as we dig deeper into the layers of this drama, it's becoming clear that her actions may have been as much about reclaiming her voice as they were about challenging Musk himself. What exactly was Goldberg trying to achieve, and how far was she willing to go to make her point? Those are the questions that no one else seems to be asking, and the answers might change everything we think we know about this unfolding saga. Goldberg's disappearance may have shocked her audience, but the real ignition point for this saga lies in the statements she made on her show. Comments so unexpected and polarizing that they echoed far beyond the usual scope of daytime television. Let's break them down. In a segment that seemed routine at first, Goldberg veered into territory that no one saw coming. She accused Elon Musk of exerting behind-the-scenes control over political figures, even going so far as to name Senator J.D. Vance as part of what she described as a shadow network of influence. This wasn't vague speculation. Goldberg made it personal, with pointed language and a demeanor that left no room for doubt about her beliefs. But she didn't stop there. Goldberg demanded that Musk relinquish ownership of Twitter, claiming the platform had become a toxic weapon under his leadership.
Saying that I think Elon Musk believes he's president.
Wait a second, like, come on, man, this is too.
She implied that someone with as much power and influence as Musk posed a direct threat to the democratic exchange of ideas. These weren't just critiques, they were accusations aimed at the very core of Musk's public persona as a champion of free speech. What makes these statements so compelling isn't just their content, but the way Goldberg delivered them. This wasn't the usual banter of daytime TV, it was a pointed attack delivered with conviction. There were no disclaimers, no attempts to soften the blow. She spoke as though she were revealing a truth that no one else had the courage to voice. Unsurprisingly, the backlash was immediate. Social media lit up with reactions from every corner of the internet. Musk's supporters dismissed Goldberg's comments as absurd, accusing her of spinning baseless conspiracy theories. But others wondered whether she knew something the public didn't, whether her boldness was backed by inside information that had yet to surface. And then there's the question of why Goldberg chose to speak out. Was she genuinely concerned about Musk's influence, or was this a calculated move to spark a larger conversation about power dynamics in modern society? Some speculate that Goldberg was attempting to position herself as a voice for accountability, in an era where billionaires often operate without checks and balances. But there's another angle to consider, the potential fallout Goldberg must have anticipated. Her producers were reportedly blindsided by her remarks, with one insider claiming, "This wasn't part of the script, she went completely off book." If true, this suggests that Goldberg was prepared to take the heat, knowing full well that her comments would stir controversy. However, what no one seems to be asking is this: did Goldberg actually want Musk to respond? By targeting someone as high-profile and combative as Musk, was she intentionally baiting him into a public clash that would amplify her message? What's clear is that Goldberg's words struck a nerve, not just with Musk, but with the entire ecosystem of media and politics that he's come to represent. Whether you see her as reckless or courageous, there's no denying that her comments have forced a conversation that many would prefer to avoid. But here's the real question: what happens when the person you've challenged decides not to ignore you? Because Musk, as we'll see, isn't just reacting. He's responding in a way that could have lasting implications for both Goldberg and the media landscape as a whole. What happened next, though, is where this story takes a turn that no one else is talking about. Forget the headlines about Goldberg fleeing the country or Musk's cryptic tweets. There's a hidden layer of tension here that's far more revealing. And we're just getting started. If there's one thing Elon Musk has made clear over the years, it's that he's not afraid to confront his critics. But this time, his response appears to be more calculated and potentially more devastating than ever before. Rumors of an $80 million defamation lawsuit aren't just shocking because of the price tag. They signal something deeper: Musk's intention to set an example. Let's start with what we know. Musk, a man who thrives on public discourse, has never shied away from addressing his detractors, whether through fiery tweets or high-profile interviews. But when it comes to Whoopi Goldberg, his approach has been unusually subdued. Behind the scenes, however, the gears of a potential legal battle are turning, and they're turning fast. Reports suggest Musk's legal team has been quietly gathering evidence to build a case against Goldberg. Transcripts of her on-air statements are just the beginning. Insiders claim that private communications between Goldberg and her producers are also being reviewed, with Musk's team looking for any indication that her accusations were made recklessly or without factual basis.
He's planning the presidency when they get rid of Trump.
Hey, you know who? Stay away from the stairways.
So why $80 million? Legal experts believe this figure isn't arbitrary, it's symbolic. For Musk, it's not just about damages, it's about sending a message. The sum represents the magnitude of what he sees as the harm done to his reputation, both as a business leader and as a public figure. More importantly, it's a number designed to grab attention and make others think twice before making similar allegations. But let's dig deeper. Musk's decision to potentially sue Goldberg isn't just about defending himself, it's about drawing a line in the sand. He's long been vocal about his disdain for what he sees as the irresponsibility of modern media, and this case gives him an opportunity to address that issue head-on. However, it's worth noting that defamation cases involving public figures are notoriously difficult to win. To succeed, Musk's team would need to prove not only that Goldberg's statements were false, but also that she acted with actual malice, meaning she knew her claims were untrue or recklessly disregarded their accuracy. This is a high bar to clear, but Musk's legal strategy might hinge on uncovering internal documents or communications that show Goldberg had doubts about her statements but aired them anyway. The implications of such a lawsuit go far beyond Goldberg and Musk. If this case moves forward, it could set a precedent for how media personalities are held accountable for their statements, especially in an era where sensationalism often takes precedence over accuracy. What's particularly intriguing is how Musk has handled the public side of this feud, or more accurately, how he hasn't. Unlike past controversies where he's been quick to fire off a tweet or give a provocative interview, Musk has largely stayed silent about Goldberg's allegations. Instead, his few public comments have been cryptic, hinting at the importance of accountability without directly addressing the situation. This silence has only fueled speculation. Some believe Musk is staying quiet to avoid giving Goldberg more ammunition, while others think he's deliberately keeping his cards close to his chest, preparing for a strategic legal strike that will catch everyone off guard. And then there's the question of timing. Why hasn't the lawsuit been officially filed yet? Legal analysts suggest Musk's team may be waiting to finalize their case, ensuring they have enough evidence to make a compelling argument. Others think the delay is a calculated move, keeping Goldberg and her allies in a state of uncertainty while the media frenzy continues to grow. Regardless of Musk's motives, one thing is clear. This isn't just a legal battle, it's a cultural showdown. By taking on Goldberg, Musk is challenging the norms of how public figures engage with the media, forcing a conversation about the balance between free speech and accountability. But as with any high-stakes game, there's risk involved. If Musk's lawsuit fails, it could backfire, giving Goldberg a platform to portray herself as a victim of a billionaire's attempt to silence dissent. On the other hand, if he succeeds, it could mark a turning point in how public discourse is conducted in the digital age. And this is where the story becomes even more fascinating. Goldberg's sudden disappearance adds a layer of intrigue to an already complex narrative. Is she avoiding Musk's legal team, or is there another reason for her absence? Whatever the case, it's clear that this battle is far from over, and the next move will be crucial for both sides. If you've been online lately, you've probably seen the chaos surrounding Goldberg's sudden absence. But let's break down how this unfolded, and how it's being distorted in real time. Paparazzi snapshots, blurry photos of private jets, and even fabricated sightings have turned Goldberg's disappearance into a viral spectacle. People are speculating about her location, from a secluded Mediterranean villa to tropical hideouts. And then there's the theory that she's purposely evading legal jurisdiction, a move that has fueled even more wild speculation. The sudden disappearance of Whoopi Goldberg from her talk show sent shockwaves across the media landscape. Known for her commanding presence and fearless commentary, Goldberg's absence left a vacuum that fueled endless speculation. Was this a deliberate retreat, a move to avoid potential legal fallout, or something else entirely? Let's start with the most talked about rumors.
My cat lays in wait for me on my stairs all the time. And that's what I was thinking of that. I wasn't trying to indicate that they were actually standing there with their legs out, hoping he would trip.
No. You know, if you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
In the days following her disappearance, alleged sightings of Goldberg began to surface. One report claimed she had been spotted stepping off a private jet in a secluded Mediterranean villa. Another suggested she was seen on a tropical beach, far removed from the chaos she left behind. While none of these sightings have been verified, they've sparked intense discussion about whether Goldberg's departure was an attempt to avoid Musk's legal team or simply a personal escape from the mounting pressure. But why would Goldberg leave so abruptly? Some believe her absence is a calculated move to complicate any efforts by Musk's lawyers to serve her with lawsuit papers. By leaving the United States, she may be seeking to delay or even evade potential legal proceedings, buying herself time to strategize her next move. This theory gained traction when rumors emerged about Goldberg consulting with international legal advisors, though, like much of this story, those claims remain unconfirmed. Others, however, see her departure in a different light. They argue that Goldberg's retreat might be reactionary rather than premeditated. According to sources close to the production of her show, there was significant tension behind the scenes in the days leading up to her disappearance. Some insiders claim that producers urged Goldberg to issue a public clarification or apology for her comments about Musk, but she allegedly refused, standing firm in her convictions. This defiance reportedly culminated in a heated confrontation with network executives. One insider described the situation as untenable, suggesting that Goldberg's decision to leave was less about strategy and more about making a statement. If true, this could mean that her disappearance isn't about avoiding Musk's legal team, but rather a way to assert her independence in the face of corporate pressure. Adding to the intrigue is the frenzy surrounding Goldberg's whereabouts. Paparazzi and tabloids have gone into overdrive, publishing unverified reports and grainy photos that only deepen the mystery. Some images claim to show Goldberg in conversation with local authorities in Europe, while others suggest she's been spotted boarding yachts in tropical locales. Whether these reports are credible or not, they've fueled a narrative of a high-profile figure going off the grid at a time when the spotlight is at its brightest. But here's the real question. Was Goldberg's disappearance a carefully orchestrated move, or was it a spur-of-the-moment decision born out of frustration? If it's the former, she may be playing a longer game, using her absence to create distance and reset the narrative. If it's the latter, it suggests a level of uncertainty that could make her position even more precarious. Whatever the case, Goldberg's absence has turned an already sensational story into a full-blown media spectacle. Her silence speaks volumes, leaving fans, critics, and analysts to fill in the gaps with speculation. Is she preparing for a grand return, armed with new revelations and a renewed sense of purpose? Or has the weight of the controversy pushed her into a retreat that she may struggle to recover from? As the world waits for her next move, one thing is certain. Goldberg's disappearance has added a layer of complexity to this saga that no one could have predicted. And until she steps back into the public eye, the theories will continue to swirl, each more tantalizing than the last. What we're left with is a web of unanswered questions and a series of events that challenge everything we thought we knew about this feud. But there's one more angle to consider, something that might explain why this story feels far from over. At its core, this isn't just about two high-profile figures clashing, it's a reflection of how power dynamics are shifting in the digital age. On one side, you have Goldberg, a seasoned media personality navigating a world that demands constant reinvention. On the other, Musk, a billionaire with the resources to influence global narratives. Their feud highlights deeper questions about accountability, free speech, and the blurred lines between entertainment and serious discourse. And while the specifics of this case are fascinating, the implications for how public figures engage with their critics could have far-reaching consequences. Goldberg's continued absence and Musk's calculated restraint have created an unusual dynamic, a standoff where every move is scrutinized, but no one seems willing to make the next decisive step. As we wait to see whether this ends with a courtroom showdown, a public apology, or something entirely unexpected, one thing is certain. This is a story with layers that most are too afraid to peel back. And that's why we're here, to bring you the angles and insights no one else will. Stay tuned, because the twists in this saga are far from over.